So it's time to recertify. That's a wonderful thing. We've gotten 5 years in since you first applied for certification, so you're due for renewal. And we have a workbook that you will need to fill out and submit along with your supporting documentation through the online system. So we're going to start out with kind of the basics. You've most likely already done one of these, whether it was before 2026, in the 2024 timeframe, or earlier. But the system is still relatively the same thing. So the thing you'll notice again towards the bottom, you have a number of tabs, color-coded tabs, and you're going to be filling these out as appropriate. So it's possible that you could fill out all independent study classes and get all of your hours. Doubtful, but you could do that. Then you may not need to fill out any of these others because you've gotten the hours that are needed. What is new are the blue tabs. So if you've applied for your advanced or master's here recently, this will look familiar. Part of the 2026 rules that were passed is that as a recertification, it's been 5 years. We want to see that you have done some sort of professional contribution to the emergency management field. So not just taking classes, we want to see that you've done other things. So part of the recertification is a requirement that you have done 3 service areas of contribution. So let's get into it. So the first page here again is the application instructions. Always look at the rules. Review the rules, especially the recertification section, and make sure you have a clear understanding of what's going on. Additionally, you need to verify whether or not there have been any additional FEMA IS classes added to your level certification. So let's say you got your certification, your basic level certification in 2021. Well, we've added additional classes since then. We've also removed some. But the added classes, you are responsible to take those and add them in to your recertification. We do look through those. Now there is a web page that's in the rules. It's also on the website that you can click on that will show when a class was added and what that class is. So we do have that information available for you. So the application section here, again, fairly simple. Your information, make sure this is all filled out, please. What is your current level of certification? That also helps us to identify anything that any of those basic courses that you've got to take. And then what's new for everybody in 2026 is this service requirements, a minimum of 3 out of the 13 available. So all you need to do is select which ones you want to submit for, and then you will apply those appropriately in the blue tabs. The next page we have here is basically a way for you to visualize whether or not you have the required hours. So again, we are looking for 200 hours. It's basically 40 hours a year. It's kind of what it boils down to. It doesn't have to be exactly 40 hours each year, but that's what we're looking for. So those hours can come from any one of these sections. The green tabs for your independent study courses. You'll notice that the top section, there's one for required IS courses. Basically, again, if you got your basic 5 years ago, we've added some courses. You need to verify which ones those are and add them up here to the top. We will be checking that. And then any other classes that you've taken since then, you can add in the bottom section. And these numbers will add up. So we put 5 contact hours there. You'll see that 5 hours shows up down here. If I put in 5 hours in this this bottom section here, you'll see that total hours on page 2 is 5. Total Recert IS courses is now 10. If we come back to the Recert hours, you'll see that we have 10 hours right here. For all other classes, remember going for your master or going for a Recert, excuse me, then these do need to be core related. Although, as the rules say, there is a little leniency typically for the initial certifications. You may or may not be able to apply like a train the trainer type class, especially if it's not geared towards emergency management or a leadership type course. Well, we've gotten a little lenient on that in the recertification, and that is because those types of classes will grow you as a professional and allow you to do more things outside of your home office. So we are a little bit more lenient, but still, if you were to apply like an EMT basic or dispatch class in here, those wouldn't fly because they're not those are specific to another profession. So once you put those hours in, whether it's a 40-hour course, you'll see that tallied up down here, and your Recert total hours are going to start tabulating over here. If you go to your instructional credit, again, a 20 hours maximum listed per calendar year are allowed. Okay, so if you taught a 40-hour EM related class, you can only count 20 of those hours for that year. If you taught that same class the following year, you could count an additional 20 hours. So just be careful on what you're applying for, and we do that again just like that. The Recert totals will come in over here. Higher education credit. The credit hours have changed a little bit in 2026. So quarter hours are now 5 contact hours per quarter hour taken. So a standard 3-quarter hour class is now only 15 hours. And a semester or term credit is now 10 contact hours for each semester hour. A standard 3-hour course is now 30 contact hours. So you can put that information in here. Let's say that was a 3-semester hour class. Again, you're going to fill out all this information. These do need to be EM related. So if you're putting in here, literature 101, that's not going to fly. It needs to be an emergency management related class. If we typically go off of the course name, that's just our first general indicator. So if that name is clearly an emergency management type course, we verify that on the transcript, and that's as far as we go. But if there's a course name that maybe is not so clear that it's an emergency management related class, I would highly recommend that you also upload a syllabus of that course so that we can better understand what was being taught, and if it is in fact really a primarily EM related course, then great, we'll keep it in there. If it's not, we have to remove those hours. So be very careful about that. Conference credit, not complicated. The dates of the conference, the name of the conference. Don't worry about the applied to, because that's not going to matter in here. The hours due. So let's say a 40-hour course. There we go. We go back into the Recert total hours, and so we've got quite a few hours here, which is fine, but we're only at 140 hours. And let's say you did in fact work a disaster. We can fill in all this information, please. The type of disaster or name of the disaster, the dates, what your assignment was or job, where you were assigned, what type of declaration was it. If it was an other, add some notes in here, and let's say it was an 80-hour disaster, because that's as many hours as you can apply right now per year. So then we look at that 80 hours. We should come back to the Recert hours, and now you'll see that what was initially kind of a grayed out box is now turned dark green. that is to indicate that you have now hit the sufficient number of hours required for recertification. This is coursework only, remember. It used to be 250 hours to recertify. We dropped that down to 200 starting in 2026 because we wanted to add an emphasis to the professional contributions that you're making. So we reduced the number of core hours that you need to have for recertification. It's down to 200. Once you fill all this out, you'll see that that turns green. It's a great visual for you. And now you need to go into the blue section and fill out the corresponding contribution that you checked off in your application. So again, you go to the application, you said you're going to do conference credit. So we're going to go to the conference credit tab and we just fill it out. The date, name of the conference, hours. These blue tabs are pretty simplistic. It's just basic information that we're going to be using. And they're all pretty much like that. Community leadership, professional assignment, publish an article, so on and so forth. The bulk of the work here in this section for these three that you're having to do for your research comes from the proper documentation, the supporting documentation that you will upload when you apply for the recertification. And as a reminder, when you apply through the online portion of this system, you will combine each of these different, basically these colored tabs is its own set of documents that you need to combine into one and upload as a separate document. So you could have quite a few actual documents that you upload, right? So the IS courses, that's just the transcript. We don't need individual certificates, just a transcript, please. That's one file that you're going to upload. Core other hours, if you have 5 different classes, you're going to combine 5 certificates into one document and then upload that document where appropriate in the Smartsheet system. Same thing for instructional credit. Higher ed will be your transcript. The unofficial transcript is fine. Conference credit, again, all your conference certificates combine into one single document and then upload that into Smartsheet. Same thing for disaster credit. And then all of the service requirements, all of those, you will combine the supporting documents again into one file. It's going to be probably a large, PDF file, but you're going to combine it all. It is perfectly fine if you want to, put a little separator piece of paper, type conference credit and put that on the top. And then the next one be community leadership, put that, in the next section so that it's kind of easier for us that review this to scroll through everything. And then you're going to upload all that into the Smartsheet system and hopefully everything goes well. Feel free to, if you're supposed to do 200 hours, submit 220, add a few extra classes just in case you forget to upload a document or something else. That way there's a little bit of breathing room in case we have to toss something out. We don't want to have to deny an application and send it back for you to fill out and redo. That's the last thing we want. So it's always good practice to upload just a little bit more than what is required to give you that safety net. Same thing goes for the service requirements. If you're required to do 3, maybe submit 4 if you've got it. That way, just in case something goes wrong, you've got that built-in safety net. So best of luck on your recertification, and we look forward to celebrating your previous 5 years of a professional contribution to the EM field at the upcoming conference. Best of luck.